What's going on, y'all? It's your man Quincy Weststone, aka Q Stone, and this is the first episode of Beat Street. Where we talking about beats, producing, man, the industry, man, technology, all that good stuff, man, when it comes to beats, man. So I got my first guest of the show. I've known him for about 7 years now. 2014, I met him. He's a DJ, man. He's a producer, man. He has his own studio. He mixes, he masters, he does it all, man. So introducing today, man, to my first show is DJ OVERFLOW. What's going on, man?
What's up, Q Stone, man? Hey, I'm super happy to be here with you, man. Yeah. And I'm glad I'm the first one on this show, man.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that everybody who's watching this will get inspired, man, for production and using different gears and equipment, man. I always tell people, right, producers and writers or artists or creators, man, we're geeks.
Yeah.
We're nerds.
Yeah,
man.
we are.
We're nerds. We may not be Einstein in essence, but we're Einsteins when it comes down to music and arts, man.
That's right, man. That's what it do, man. So tell the audience, tell me, man, like how you got into it, and I guess you can start with your story, man. How did you become DJ OVERFLOW that you are today?
So let's go like back, right? So middle school, man. I had a friend of mine who took me over to a YMCA.
Okay.
And we were gonna go play basketball. So this particular YMCA, I think it's out in Deer Park or something like that. They had like a stage or something like that, a stage in the back of the basketball, and they had some music playing. And I seen some guys doing all these flips and windmills and head spins, right?
Yeah.
I was in 6th grade. I'd never seen anything like it. And I was just wild and marveled at people. And I didn't even realize that the human body could do this stuff. But the music that was being played was like soulful, funky, had breaks. I was like, man, what is this? Yeah. So I ended up becoming a break dancer. Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I ended up becoming a break dancer because of that, right?
Yeah.
And so because I was break dancing, I was always around DJs and music, right? That's what keeps us going, rhythm-wise, you know what I'm saying? And so, man, I grew up listening to James Brown and Stylistics and Earth, Wind, and Fire and, man, like just all these cats that would play just all this funky soul music.
Yeah.
And so I didn't realize this because this was all new to me. I didn't realize that the DJs were cutting up the breaks of the records and spinning the best dope pieces of it. And not, mind you, I think all the songs that they chose or the originals are dope, but just the way that they were able to go in there and cut the breaks and loop the breaks and then add DJ cuts and add all these other sounds was like crazy. So I was always around the music part, man. And then man, like fast forward, right? I ended up realizing that a lot of hip hop music was sample based.
Yeah.
So because I was a break dancer and I would hear Nas or I would hear a DJ Premier Gangstar or I would hear a Mos Def or Talib or The Roots and all these cats, and then I was like, man, I breakdanced to that song.
Yeah.
Or I heard this song, like that's from this song. Mm-hmm. And then I realized, man, these guys or these producers that were producing were sampling records. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't even realize that was such a thing. You're like, you know what I mean? You're growing up into this world, you're still new, you're realizing, man, there's such a thing as a MPC, a Kai 2000 XL that can do these, chop up samples and slow down the sample and drop another drum break under it, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, anyways, I'm finding out the trail of the sample, so I'm starting to also develop an ear because I'm following the trails of the original hip hop tracks and then going into the original samples where they got it from. Mm-hmm. And so it was just cool because I began my musical journey.
Yeah.
So I was a DJ before I even knew I was a DJ.
Yeah.
Shout out to my homie Damon. So as I was a part of a rap group, and so I ended up buying turntables because I wanted to make beats for us. I bought an MPC 1000, I bought 2 turntables, and I started buying records because I wanted to sample. I didn't have any money.
Yeah.
And the little money that I had, instead of just going to a studio for me, right, I invested in myself and in the group.
That's the way to do it,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I bought an MPC 1000, bought some speakers, and 2 turntables, a mixer, and started buying records, man. I just started sampling.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy because even at the time, I was like, I was fulfilling a void or a need, right, for the team. So I was like, man, I don't got money to go buy beats. You know, I'm gonna learn this thing.
Yeah.
So I started learning how to chop samples and produce songs and record songs. Not because of I didn't have, well, really just because of the nature of, you know, the situation that I was in. And so like that allowed me to like impulse me to learn production, to impulse how to record people, impulse how to use the MPC 1000, impulse how to go crate digging, you know what I mean? Going into the dollar. Shout out to Half Price Bookstore for the dollar bins, man.
Yeah, okay.
You know, you can get a lot of dope records for $1 and come in and make some dope beats. So anyways, I'm providing for these services for the team. And then my boy Damon was like, man, he goes, I think you're a DJ. You know, he was like, I think you're a DJ. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, bro, like, you're so into music. He's like, you know so much genre of music, man. I think you're a DJ. So I think he implanted like a seed in my heart, man. And I ended up becoming the DJ for the team. Okay. So I was rapping at one point. I was a producer at one point. Then all of a sudden I became the DJ. Yeah. You know what I mean? It is. And so it's kind of crazy because I didn't think the DJ would go where it was going to go. I originally wanted to succeed as a rapper. Yeah. And so God, you know, had a whole different plan for that. Yeah, right on. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so he obviously orders our steps. So, man, I ended up DJing, man. And one of my first gigs I DJ'd for at the time, C-Light. Okay. That was his name. Yeah. You know, for some of y'all who don't know, that's Andy Mineo. Okay. So, dope rapper, dope MC. I ended up DJing for this guy. It was one of my first DJ events. And it's on YouTube, y'all. Y'all can look it up. It's out there. It's available. So, anyways, I start doing the DJing, and God just opened up a door. I meet up my homie J-Flow from Houston, Texas. J-Flow gets me on a little Houston tour. I get the tour. I start meeting. At the time, was it Still Christians and just different artists from the city. You know what I'm saying? Different artists from the city. And from one to the next, I started DJing. But at the same time as I was DJing, I was still producing songs. Yeah. I was producing songs for J-Flow. Yeah. I produced songs for like even Dre Murray. Yeah. I produced songs for man, bro, like so many cats that are out there. A homie Trill Los that actually just, you know, released the EP. Doing tracks for the homie J-DILLA, AZ, Christ-like, so many artists. Bro. Yeah, that's dope. So many artists. So that's kind of like the musical journey, man. You know, it just kind of started from breakdancing, and then listening to the music, following the trails of hip hop music, and then learning it, you know, based out of a need, you know, being a part of a rap group and just fulfilling that need, man. Yeah, right on.
So who would you say was your influences, or what genres are you drawn to the most?
Man, I really do like jazz music. Yeah. I love jazz and I love soul. Like when I say soul, it could be, you know, Brazilian funk samba music. It could be anything funk, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it really, man, I think overall a lot of jazz and a lot of that kind of stuff I really am drawn towards.
Yeah, I can hear that in you.
Yeah, you know, a lot of it's very jazzy. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because of the chords that pull me or the keys or the sounds. Mm-hmm. Something pulls me. Yeah. One of the main producers for me that kind of stood out of everybody was J-DILLA. Okay. You know, J-DILLA's a connoisseur. He's the genius of like hip hop music. He created a sound. Yeah. And so growing up, listening to artists like Slum Village and Q-Tip and The Roots and Far Side, Erykah Badu, Common, D'Angelo, all these, Talib Kweli, Mos Def, right? Listening to these artists, I didn't realize that there was one man behind the scene doing most of the production for that, and that was Dilla. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so when I realized that, man, I made it a mission to get as much tracks that he had produced and really like pay attention to what he was doing. Yeah. You know?
Because that stuff is hard, man. Like just scratching and combining those different records and timing them, man, and putting them together in the same key, man. That stuff is hard and people think, man.
Yeah, you know, and I think I mean, salute to like, I mean, the creators before me. Yeah. You know, we got all this new technology that does so much for us. Yeah. I mean, the cats back then, they had the MPC 60, the MPC 3000, 2000, 2000 XL, like Pete Rock's, you know, producers like Pete Rock and all those guys. I mean, I don't know how they did it, but they did it.
They did, yeah.
You know what I mean? They did it, bro.
Yeah.
And so I think that inspired me. For me, is like, man, I could say I was a student of the production style of Dilla, and I've taken that and I've learned so much from it. But at the same time, I've taken that inspiration and I say, how can I also do my own kind of style of stuff?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So like, what do you use? Like, what's your process of making a track? How do you, when you from finding the sample and just laying it down, what's your process of just going back?
So, man, for me, I always start with my drums.
Okay.
I think that's the first thing, is I try to lay out my drums, or I try to find a drum sample. I think the drums is always like, the drums is gonna let me know where I'm going and how I'm chopping the sample up, or what I'm playing, right? It's kind of giving me the heartbeat of where I want to go. So it's really the drums, right? And then after the drums, depending on what I'm feeling, right? Sometimes I will do my own like virtual VSTs, and I'll play my own keys and chords and progressions and stuff like that, right? But most of the time, I think because I'm a samplist at heart.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run to a sample to kind of get me going, and then I'll start adding additional instrumentation. So it's drum loop, then finding the sample. Once I lay out the sample, then I do the bass line. After I do a dope bass line, then I start adding all the elements like pads and synths and leads or whatever else.
Yeah, that's dope, man. So what software do you use when you?
So when I first started, I was just using simply MPC 1000 and Pro Tools.
Okay.
So when I first started, which is very basic, because I didn't know what I know now. Obviously, it's been, since like 2005, 2006 when I first started. But now I'm using the MPC X, the MPC Live, the Akai Force, but everything is all being tracked out and run back into Pro Tools. So I do my final mixing and arrangements on Pro Tools.
Okay, so you do most of your sequencing on the hardware.
Yeah.
See, I used to do hardware, but now I'm just strictly software.
Software,
now. Yeah, man. So
I think I like best of both worlds. You know what I'm saying? I like the old school and the new school. You know what I'm saying? I think there is a place for that.
It is.
Yeah.
So like, and like as far as the business wise, like, how do you go about promoting your beats and stuff like that, and
so for me, man, what I've been able to do for the last like 4 years, I've been releasing like beat tapes on Spotify, you know what I'm saying, and iTunes and Tidal and everywhere else. So I've been releasing beat tapes online, and then just getting people to listen to my production. So a lot of the stuff is kind of catered for people to just, hey man, while you driving, listen to the beat, you know what I'm saying? And I think that has allowed for people to realize, man, I didn't know DJ OVERFLOW was a producer. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know either. I didn't know. I say, man, I started listening to some stuff, man. I say, man, jamming over there, man. And then your studio was like a spaceship, man, online, man. I was like, that's dope, dog. You inspired me to get some lights around my stuff, because I wasn't into that yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, that's live, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I like I said, I like, as far as the station, man, I feel like that is my spaceship. You know what I'm saying? I get to go in there. And I always tell people, man, music to a certain degree is therapy, man. It really is.
It is, man. Making and creating is therapy, man. Instead of going out and doing drugs, or going out and gang banging and going out and doing this crazy stuff. And we're humans, right? We go through things, we go through emotions, we and so sometimes we have all these emotions and pent up things inside that eventually is a time bomb. So for me, man, I've been able to develop and use all that emotion and stuff and put it in my music. Cool, man. And then as far I'm gonna ask everybody this, and this is more about the business too, like the leasing beats thing. What's your take on leasing beats, man?
I don't mind people leasing beats, right? I'm cool with that, right? If that's what you're into, I respect it. For me personally, man, I think I've grown up saying, man, I want to exclusively make songs for the artist.
Right.
So I like to sit in with the artist in the studio, and I like to create a record with them. You know what I'm saying? And so for me personally, I want that every song that I make is the best song that we could create, and is the only song that we created for that particular topic, or for that particular artist.
Yeah, man, because it's like, I can't see, and I understand for a lot of the younger guys coming up, I understand, like, okay, I can get a lot of money for this one track.
Sure.
But my heart is just, every track is like a little baby. It's like, so it's like, if this one track and everybody just putting songs to it, running through, it's like, I mean, I don't want to use I don't want to say nothing wrong, but it's like prostitution, man. It's like prostitution.
Why are you prostituting the track, man? Stop doing that to the track, man.
You know, it's like, come on, man, the track. So, all right, man. So, man, let's get the tracks, man. Look, man, I want to see play some of your beats, man. Let the audience hear your beats, man. So we just gonna jam a little bit. Now you got like 6 or is it 5 or 6 mixtapes instrumental?
Probably 6, 7. Man, I lost count too. Yeah, man. And I actually got a new one coming out April 1st too. Yeah. By the way, it's called Nostalgic Comfort. Okay. And so it is somewhat of a lo-fi aspect to that, man. But it's got some little hip hop, boom bap, a little bit of everything in there. And
your names be dope, man, that you call. So I'm gonna ask you about that. So we gonna play. I'm gonna go ahead and play one of my faves. Is Get a Name, Clashes Clay.
Okay.
Where that name come from?
So look, man, I'm gonna be honest, right? I think some producers be thinking way too much as far as naming a beat, right? Right. So for me, man, sometimes I just whatever's in front of me, right? So I'm gonna be honest, y'all probably gonna laugh, right? So this particular song, I didn't have a name. I was thinking about getting a name, right? So I called it Get a Name. Yeah. It's just like that, right? And then the idea of Clashes Clay, that didn't come up until I started working the song and I found a sample where it talks about Clashes Clay. Okay. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna update the name and just call it Get a Name, Clashes Clay.
All right, everybody. This beat from DJ Overflow, Get a Name, Clash. Catches Clay. 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 Spitting rhymes while rocking the latest. Catches Clay. 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 Spitting rhymes while rocking the latest. Yeah, man, that was Get a Name, Clashes Clay by DJ Overflow instrumental, man. So what's the why drop an instrumental album, man? Why drop an instrumental?
So man, like, I'm sure everyone's kind of seen this. The whole lo-fi has been a big thing in the last few years, right? And so this idea of study music has been dope too, right? With people creating music that aren't necessarily having a lot of rap or it's a how could I say song, right? It's more instrumental. So I was like, you know what? I can recreate stuff like that. That's dope. That's vibey. That people can listen to as they're driving to work, or as they're at work, or driving home from work. Or as they're studying whatever it is and going to college, right? And so just being able to create some dope instrumentals and allowing people just to vibe out. Yeah. And so when I produce and I make these records, that's really what I do too. I just vibe out, man. It's just whatever. I always say whatever God or whatever God gives me, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever the sample gives me, that I just kind of go with that, man. I just kind of flow with it, man. And it's really about, for me, it's really about a vibe and a feeling when I produce, man. How does that make me feel? And I go with that intuition.
And what I like, man, it's like with no words too, it lets the listener go where they want to go. Yes. They're not forced to go anywhere. Just wherever I want to go, I'm going.
Say that again, man. Bro. I like that.
It lets the listener go where they want to go. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Because you might have another idea for the beat, but the listener may be feeling some other.
And it's crazy you said that, man. Like I said, music is definitely therapy, right? Yeah. And so sometimes you have a hard day. You know what I'm saying? You've been dealing with so much stuff, and you just pop in one of the beat tapes that I made, and you know, you can go wherever you want with however you need in order for you to de-stress on your way home.
And you'd be surprised how many people like instrumentals, man. Because my wife, man, I didn't know that she would listen to my instrumental as much. Oh, wow. You know, when I was like, okay, you know. But people like instrumentals, man. So cool, man. Okay, so we just gonna jam some more, man. This one is called. Let me see. I'm gonna go to Just Fly, man. And y'all, these instrumentals are on Spotify right now, so you can go look up DJ Overflow. It's a bunch of DJ Overflows. So how can they find you?
So, man, when you go to, whether it's Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, Deezer, Napster, all the, you know, places where you can stream, if you type in all one word, DJ OVERFLOW, DJ Overflow, all one word, it will pop out.
They get you already. Yes. All right, y'all, this track is called Just Fly. Yo, that was Just Fly, man.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something right now. On Just Fly, man, that was made on the MPC 1000.
Okay, yeah.
That was an older beat, and you even on when you hear some of these projects, some of the stuff, I went back and kind of taken them, and I remixed them and mastered them properly, and released them. So from the last record to this record, you could also tell a difference as far as sound wise.
Yeah.
But that was strictly off the MPC 1000.
And you can, and I guess you can tell. I got like an old school in me. I like the old school hip hop, man. Yeah, it's like a
90s golden
it's like
era.
A gritty thing. It's like and then to me, I can hear the rhythm of the flow easier on those beats.
Yeah.
You know,
just rock flow with it.
Just flow with it, man. So that's dope, man. So I want to get into some of the ones that you brought with you, man.
Yeah.
Some of your trap style, because I know this is 2021.
2021,
you know what I'm saying? 808s.
And by the way, everyone watching, man, I do a little bit of everything as far as production goes, from the boom bap, hip hop stuff, lo-fi, nostalgic type of beats, and also reggaeton, EDM, trap beats as well.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? And abstract. I do have some abstract projects in there as well. Collider Waves is one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, and so there's another one in there available. So if you're into that kind of stuff, man, I got a little bit of everything for everybody.
Already, yeah, man. Yeah. So all right, so we're gonna pull up. This one is called. Let me see. Let me see the name of this one.
Let's see, I think it's gonna be right there.
This is called Peanut Butter Flow, man. Tell me about Peanut Butter Flow, man.
I think I named that Peanut Butter Flow because of just what it felt. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it felt like.
All right, so we put a jam on some of this Peanut Butter Flow.
I was probably eating a peanut butter jelly sandwich while I was making it. So
already, here we go. gonna cut it short because I want to play some more, man.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying? So I'm just now really learning the 808, man. Believe it or not.
Okay.
Cause I was a bass line person.
Yeah.
I need the bass line, the groove, and the 808 and the bass, it can clash. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Cause it's too much heaviness, man. Yeah. So it's like when I'm hearing, I'm just not learning. So how long have you been using the 808 yourself?
I've probably been using 808 since like 2013.
Yeah.
2014, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to lie. There are some moments where I do away from the 808 and I'll do more of a groove or a tune bass line.
Yeah.
But there are moments too where depending on where the record is wanting me to go, you know, we'll do some 808s like that, man. So there are, and I tell this to a lot of people, this is the geek stuff, right? Yeah. The mixing part where you can actually get some 808s and some tune bass grooves mixed in there, but you got to definitely work because a lot of the bass and the kick and the 808s use the same frequency. Yeah,
I'm glad you said that. So just talk about that process because I know that too, so I want you to talk about it. So it's like, because the bass and the 808 has to be in the same tune. You got to tune it. Right. So like, just tell us about that process. And
man. So for me, I every bass line that I use is always going to be tuned. Even the 808s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's got to be tuned to what I'm working on, right? Yeah. And if I am going to put a groove under the 808, one of the tricks that I do is I use stereo width to kind of create space. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. So sometimes like my bass or my 808 is going to be at a stereo width of like negative 30%, right? So for some of y'all who are just watching this, the idea of width is you got a full stereo range, right? Let's say this is the stage, right? This is the stage and this is 100% of left and right stereo. If I go 30%, the bass line, let's say the bass line is at 100%. So the spectrum of the bass line is covering this whole section. So if I go 30%, I'm narrowing the bass line to just play at this section of the stage. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'll keep that, and then on the kick, I'll leave the kick at 100% because the kick now is gonna have this whole room, but the bass is gonna be right here. So I'm kind of creating space.
Yeah, for that bass to be right in there,
right in the pocket of that. But also, here's a little bit more in depth. You can also do like a pumping effect, right? With the 808s and the kick. So you can, when the kick comes in, it'll flatten out the bass. And when the kick is done, it allows the bass to breathe in.
A side change.
The side change.
Yeah, go tell it. Yeah. So y'all hear that, man? So some of y'all, when y'all doing these beats, man, y'all gotta listen because like that low end can clash.
Yeah.
And when people like DJ Overflow get it and you want him to mix it, he got all this trouble trying to mix your track because the bass is not in the same key and they just taking up all the space. So he got to go in and, like you say, wide the kick and small, make the bass line small, man.
Narrow, and just really at the end of the day, just creating space.
Yeah.
You know, creating space so that there's no clash. And that's from the drums to the synths to the chops to the vocals. I'm always, and I guess because I've been doing it for so long, when I produce, I'm already in mixing mode. Yeah. So I'm already paying attention to the mixing and the sound design of what I'm creating.
Yeah.
Now, it's taking me years to develop and to get to that point. So those of y'all who are just started, just know that if you continue to build and continue to grow, you'll get to a place where you'll be able to automatically know where things need to sit as far as drums, hats, and everything else within the...
Yeah, man, because that's what me and Marcus was talking about yesterday. It's like some things in the mix, in the track, you have to sacrifice. Mm-hmm. Everything can't be big. Yeah. Everything can't be blasting. No. Everything has to have its space, so that bass has to become smaller. I know you want it to be big too, but it can't. Right. Everything has to work together, man, so everything can sound good. Man, cool, man, dope. And we gonna get on some track making in a little bit, but I want to play one more track, man. Let me see, man. You got one you want to play? I've been picking. You got one that you want to...
I think we're going to do Heaven's Playground, man. I think for me, that's out of my latest project, First Fruits, that just came out. I think it's in there somewhere.
Did I get it out of there?
Probably didn't get it. But it's cool if it's not. But we can go to Spotify and get it, though.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go to Spotify.
All right, cool, man. Y'all hear that? Y'all can go to Spotify and listen to his instrumentals, man.
Yeah, man. So for those of y'all who just watching, man, y'all can check out some of my music. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at DJ Overflow. Facebook, I am DJ Overflow as well. And you can check out my website, imdjoverflow.com. Make sure you follow Sacred Media on Instagram, Quincy Wheatstone as well, man. Just putting the plug, man.
Sacred Stone Media, Quincy Whetstone, aka Q Stone.
There you go.
There you go, man. So we for the jam this Heaven's Playground, man. On this. Man, that song sounds like Heaven's Playground.
Yeah, I mean, I had to call it something had to do with heaven, man. It just feels like you flying. Man.
Yeah, like a little playground, like.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine say, man, that needs to be on a video game.
Yeah, man, it's like you bouncing around, man, like you jumping on clouds, trying to. So, man, what show? I see you got some sense in there, man. You got to go to VST, man. You got to go to synthesizer,
man. I got some VSTs. So I'm gonna put you on game, right? One of my favorite VSTs right now, and they're doing so good, right? Shout out to Output. They created something called Arcade.
Okay.
It's crazy, y'all. It's like about $10 a month. I don't know if you ever used Arcade before or not. It's $10 a month, man. Arcade has already kind of preset loops and like things that you can pull from. Yeah. But what's crazy about it is you can implement your own loops inside of it, and it'll do different effects and stutters and things that you want it to, right? But what's cool about that too is if you know the key that you're in, you just tell the system, hey, I'm on A flat minor, right? So you tell it A flat minor, and every single piece of sound that it has inside of it turns into A flat minor or into the relevant key. Yeah. And I say that because I think we're in a day and age right now, man, where technology's making beat production so much easier.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to be necessarily know every progression and chord and you know what I'm saying on the piano. Things are done are being implemented where anyone can do this stuff.
And you know what, man? I'm gonna let you about that because me, like I said, I got a little bit of old school in me, and I was kind of not going towards that because I like, man, that stuff too. But man, it's available, you know, and you got to use it and take advantage. I say I'm just going to start taking advantage of these things that's out there, you know, just implementing because I go to Splice.
Yeah. Man, shout out to Splice.
You know what I'm saying?
Splice all day too.
I mess with Splice, man, and Splice changed my life a little bit, right? I was like, dude, I can just
Splice has some spice in your life,
man, dude. And the sound sounds so good coming out, man. Just give me that one hit horn, man. That sucker just, man, that's dope, man.
Yeah, I think, you know, sometimes as producers and you know, I think we get stuck in this whole old head mentality type thing where I'm true to the 90s or I'm true to the 2000s or whatever the case may be, right? And then I always tell people like, man, that's cool, right? I respect that, but we are living in an age where there's a new generation that's coming up before us, and their taste is different, and their vibe is different. And so for me as a producer, And as a DJ, right, I curate music. I go through and I create set lists and I'm produced for stuff. And so I have an ear to the sound of today.
Yeah, that's what's dope about being a DJ, man. You close to the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what making people jump,
right.
what they're asking, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And so because I guess that's somewhat of an advantage as a producer for me, because I can go that same route, right?
Yeah.
And so I think the other aspect of that is still being true to yourself. I think for you, right, you're saying that you're using Splice and you like a certain style that you grew up listening to and producing. I tell producers like yourself, they're like, cool, keep doing it, but try to also develop something new to that.
Right.
Add some new spice on top of what you already like, and I guarantee you probably come up with something special.
Yeah, and then, man, you know what I learned too? And you know, if you don't keep up with the times, you're gonna get left behind.
Yes, right.
I don't care. I don't care how true to the old school game you are. If you don't keep up, people they gonna hear your sound. They gonna like, man, that's old school, man. Sometimes it works if it has like a new flavor, like you said, if you add some of the new stuff to it. Right. But when they hear it, you gotta keep it fresh, man.
So I still I'm a stickler for like boom bap, lo-fi, hip hop, boom 90s, golden era. I love it. I love it. I love the feeling of it. I grew up listening to it, you know what I'm saying? But I also understand that trap is the way to go right now. And if I'm trying to also do this for a living and sell to make some income and take care of my family, I also gotta make some beats now, some trap beats. Now, with the trap beats though, I try my best to also kind of still do what I love and do me with it. You know what I'm saying? And try to mimic what I can bring to the table and still kind of keep that 90s essence, but also with the new trap vibe or sound, I guess.
Yeah, because sounds do cycle around. You know what I'm saying? Like the old school stuff, like some of the Bruno Mars stuff is old school, but it's fresh. So it's time for it to come back. So man, let's get, you about your MPC live today, man. So I didn't know you was bringing it. You say, man, I might just make a beat. So I'm like, cool, man, just make a beat, man, or do what you want to do, man. So yeah, just get on with it, man.
So I got the MPC live, and I'll just kind of share a little bit of what this is, y'all. For some of y'all who are probably trying to figure out, maybe you're just new to the channel or you're new to producing, man. The Akai series and anything that MPC does is amazing. Shout out to Roger Lynn. If it wasn't for Roger Lynn, we would not have what we have as far as the MPC. But I love the MPC Live, the portability. It's rechargeable. You can take it in your backpack. You can be, if you could ride the metro, you can be in the metro pumping out some beats on your way to work or on the way after work. You can be in your car. You can be whatever. So this is the MPC Live, y'all, man. And so I'm just going to look for some stuff, for some sounds. I don't want to take up too much time, but hopefully
we can. Hey, I don't have a time limit on this thing, man. I don't.
So and Quincy, since you're right next to me, man, so what's cool about all of this is you can also put an internal hard drive. So I got a 4 terabyte internal hard drive with probably 2 terabytes worth of sounds already in it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so over the years, I've been doing this for so long, so I've built up such a collection of sounds, I guess. You know what I mean? So, all right, where do we go? I mean, cameraman, tell me where to go. We do some boom bap or we doing some trap? Where we going? Come on. Pick one. Some trap. All right, we're doing a little bit of trap today. All right, cool. Let's see here. So
okay, so hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
What you just do? You found that sound and you hit that button. What you just did?
Okay, hold on one second. Let me get my other headphones real quick so I can really hear what I'm doing.
All right.
But what I just did right now is I just assigned a loop to that pad.
Okay.
So that's why that pad turned green. And so I assigned a pad to that, right? And so what's gonna happen now is when I hit this pad,
bam,
it's right there. So I can,
man.
There you go. So
let me give you a little more of this too.
All right, here we go. So we got that right, and so we're at about a 122 BPM, which is double time. So I'm gonna do half time of that, and we're gonna go ahead and just record this initial piece. Hold on here. Okay, so we got that real quick, and it's a 2-bar loop at 61 BPMs. We're gonna go ahead and just double that. We're gonna merge and double that up. So now we have a 4-bar loop.
Bam.
Just like that. Just like that, 4-bar loop. All right, cool. So I have some 808s in here probably. So let's look for some 808s. And then, so I normally go drums and then 808s for this particular route. And then after I get the 808, I know what key I'm in. Then we're going to go chop up some samples.
Okay.
Chop something up. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So let's see here.
Man. And now I started off on the MPC 60.
Oh, hey, man, that's...
You know what I'm saying? That sucker was hairy. What's them discs called, man?
The zip disc?
The zip disc.
Yep.
Man, and then I went to the 2000 after that. Yeah, man. But every sound had to come on the disc.
Yeah, and it was only like 15 megabytes on a big old disc or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Like,
Yeah. I need a bunch of them. You need a bunch of them. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, zip, 100 meg, yeah, man. So
I had them little mini floppies, them mini hard discs too. Yeah.
So I got the 808 that I'm sampling this loop. So I'm gonna warp it. The original loop is at 132. I'm at a 120.
So when you say warp it, what are you?
So I'm warping it and I'm making it match to the BPM that I'm currently working on.
Okay.
So when I warp it, I'm telling it, hey, let's match it to the tempo that I'm currently working
on. So you're
on.
Stretching the time.
Stretching the time. That's it.
I hear that.
So stretching it was our times. That was the way that we heard.
Okay.
Today is warping.
It's warping.
Yeah,
Okay.
Warping.
All right. Yeah.
That's it's the same thing though, but.
Yeah.
1 second here. I'm not liking how this sounds. It sounds too warble. So
now if y'all listening on some systems with some bang, you might want to
lower it down.
Lower it down, cause that 808 is rumbling.
So I'm gonna lower this down too. All right, cool. So we got a main loop. So I'm gonna copy that same sequence, and I got 2 sequences. So I have what I call my verse sequence, and then I have my chorus sequence. So normally I'll use the same loop and the same bass line, right? So here I am right there. So now, all right, y'all. So right now, here's like secret like tricks, right?
Okay.
There's something called a harmonic wheel, right? That can be your best friend. You can find a harmonic wheel pretty much anywhere, right? And harmonic wheel is a color graded wheel that allows you to look at the wheel and lets you know what keys actually complement each other or you can use, right? So I have these. I'm gonna pull this up for y'all real quick too, so I can kind of share a little bit more in depth on this, right? Harmonic wheel, and so this harmonic wheel. Let me show you real quick, y'all. Quincy, this harmonic wheel looks just like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if the camera's gonna be able to zoom into that, or if we need to, or if we want to zoom in. But anyways, I think we can edit that in anyways as a picture. But harmonic wheel looks like that, right? So currently, right now, the bass line says that it's 1B. Okay, 1B means that it's B major.
Okay.
On B major, so we're on B major. That's the root note or root key, right? And so, what's cool about this is how do I know that this says 1B? I use a system called Mixed In Key. This is a DJ software.
Okay.
All right.
So
this DJ software, I run it, and it tells me the key and the tempo of every song that I have.
What is it called again?
It's called Mixed In Key.
Okay.
And you can buy it at mixedinkey.com. That's your friend. For y'all, this is secret, super secret producer type tips right now, y'all. So I use harmonic wheel, and I run all my sounds in it.
Okay.
So when I run harmonic wheel, it'll give you a number and a letter. That number and letter represents a note on the harmonic wheel. So right now it told me that it's 1B. That means that it's on B. We're working on B major. All right, cool. So I'm going to go back here, and I have something called E-crates.
That's why I want to do this show, man, so I can learn some stuff too, man, because I need to get my ear back on these streets, man.
So we're going to go to something called E-crates right here. I've created something called E-crates. E-crates is pretty much my digital way of digging through vinyl. So I have a bunch of old school vinyl stuff, old school samples. And so if you notice, I got a file called 1A and 1B, okay? So the relative key to B major is A flat minor, by the way, or the minor key or the relevant minor key is A flat minor. Mm-hmm. So I can go both ways. I can go get a flat minor sample and put it on top, and it's gonna sound good still, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why I tell for some of y'all who don't know theory, mixed in key and harmonic wheel will help you get some better understanding of how to properly choose your sounds and make sure that they're on the right key.
Right on, man.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go through 1B real quick, and what you'll start hearing it play is just different samples. Different samples. So.
Oh,
you like that?
Yeah, but then
they're basically. Yeah. So let's see what else. That was pretty cool. Let me see. Let me see something. It almost feels like R&B.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Take it. Yeah.
So we're gonna keep looking for something. Ahmad Jamal. Now I'm gonna be honest, I'm a stickler for jazz, but we're gonna stay away from that. Yeah, I'm a stickler for jazz.
And y'all, these tools, man.
Go ahead.
These tools oughtn't to like take away the value of your skill. It just helps the process, man. It makes you speed up. Because, man, today the world moves so fast, so much going on. Time is valuable, man.
Yes.
And it just kind of,
I like to call these the cheat codes, right?
Yeah.
And when I say cheat codes, there is no cheating in production, but it's just codes to get you faster.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Super Mario Brothers. You go on is it level 3? You jump over the little castle, go to the very end, and then now you're on level 7. Yeah. It's just a cheat just to get you there faster.
Yeah. You can go through all if you want to, but hey, I got to get this done.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's see here. So I'm looking for something that has a little bit more space too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. I already know. That's the one. All right, so let me just play y'all the sample real quick so y'all know what I'm doing here. I just chose a sample.
And this is hip hop too. So like people da, 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 da. Na, 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 na. My girl.
So I'll sit there and just jam to it too, you know what I mean? But all right, so we're gonna use the chop. There's a chop section in MPC Live, so I hit chop, and it kind of calculates using the peaks of what you can chop. So it just manually did chops, right?
It puts it on the transients or the that's
so. All right, cool. So I don't really like the chops; they're too long. So we're gonna try to tell it to do probably regions.
That's what you were doing. You were just testing out which ones could really fit the groove.
Yeah. So I'm kind of paying attention. So what I might end up doing, I'm gonna go probably back to trim. I probably just need only the beginning of that. I don't need anything else other than just that little beginning. So.
And y'all, he's editing a wave file. He's looking at a wave on his screen.
So I'm just gonna take that, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and delete. Let me see here. I'll extract that. Okay, so we extracted that real quick. And then I'm gonna go back to my sample edit and I'm gonna pull that extraction, which is right here. What's crazy is this is touchscreen too, man. It's just a whole different world, y'all. So we're gonna check.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go with that right there. I'm gonna go with that. So I'm go ahead and just convert that into a chop right there, right? So So I like to call this chop. I wish I could see this real quick, but all right, cool. So we got chops, right? So on here,
yeah.
I mean, that right there even is a dope loop.
Yeah,
right there,
yeah.
So what I'm gonna do here is on my chops, I'm gonna take the drums out. So there's a preset here that I can use that I have here. It's called no kick drums. So it took all my low end out. So I don't have that clash from the 808s.
So you ain't got to go in and fidget, just boom.
Just boom. It's a preset called no kick drums. It kind of filters everything out. So it should sound like this now. So one thing that I like to do here is, so I like to do sometimes a delay, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but we're going to try something out right now. We are going to go ahead if you need to tell.
Yeah, man, and what he do, he chopped up the sample so he can kind of have more control, so he can make it sound totally different from what it is, man.
Yes,
so he just, go ahead. Okay, yeah.
It's too much tail, so so I think I'm gonna do. All right, so I got a delay. I took out the bass line, and we're gonna do a little bit more things in here real quick. Let's try the wah effect. See that?
Yeah.
It changed the sound of what's going on. So let's see what happens here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and record that.
All right.
So I got the verse pretty much done. So this is what, and we're gonna add some more stuff here in a minute, but.
Yeah.
So we got that. So
DJ Overflow here cooking up these beats on BeatStreet.
So let's try that for the verse.
All right.
I like that, so we're gonna go with that.
And that's that delay on there too, huh? Yeah, that delay sitting on there right in there. Yeah.
So that delay gives me that extension, so that because it's chopped.
Yeah.
So without the delay, the chop is just gonna stop. So with that delay, it kind of extends the chop
and it fills it up.
It fills it
up.
And then the wah effect, it just kind of gives it this little wah sound. So it actually kind of changes the way that the original sample sounds like. So.
Yeah,
it's got this wah, right? It's almost like almost like we turned the audio or the sound into a guitar.
And that's the art of sampling. What he's doing is this is the art of sampling, not just taking a sample, hitting it and going. He's manipulating it, man. He making it his own sound, man.
Yeah. So we got that in there, right? So we.
That's funky, man.
It is. That's a funk trap right there. Okay, so we got that, right? So we got one sample, And so we can keep digging, right? So there are multiple things that we can do here. So we're gonna look for some more sounds real quick, and then I like to, for the sake of just time too, we're gonna use Splice. Now Splice comes integrated with the MPC Live, by the way.
No.
Yes.
I gotta give me MPC Live.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. So the MPC Live allows you to use Splice, right? And so I'm gonna show you here right now.
It can get like on Wi-Fi on there. You can go Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you can do Wi-Fi, and you still connect your keyboard too onto it.
Man,
you can download all your Splice that you have from your laptop, and it'll download directly into the MPC Live.
Yeah.
And what's cool about that is you can go through the different keys that you have. So I'm on B major, right? So I'm gonna go through the B and look for some B major type stuff.
Okay.
Or even A flat. Was it A flat minor at that? So let's see what A flat minor might have. Hold on.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna lower the mix a little bit so there's not so much. So I'm gonna lower that down. So I'm already in my head mixing this too, though. You know what I mean? So let's see. So we're gonna record that.
Okay.
Okay, so we got that in there, right? So that's really it, man. And in here, what I'm gonna do now is just save it, right? And I'm gonna call it Q Stone. And then once I get done and mixing it, I'm gonna send it over to Q.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a new single for the year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so too. Yeah, man. So the MPC. So how much? I guess y'all can Google it, but you mind sharing how much?
Yeah. So these can run anywhere from like you can get them probably 500 to 600.
Man, that is good, man.
For what it does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an amazing piece of equipment that you can own, and man, it's a good investment. It's a good investment, man. When I buy this stuff, I look at that as an investment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because you got to invest in yourself. Like y'all, producers, beat makers, whatever you want to call it, you have to invest in yourself because truly, man, you wonder why everybody else sounds so different. Why they sound so big and so professional? Because they invested in the gear, man.
Yes.
You can't sound good with a Casio and wondering why people don't like your beats. It could be some good music, it could be some good playing, some good rhythms, some good ideas, but it's gonna sound thin. It's not gonna, So invest in yourself, man. Buy the right equipment.
And I would say, like, man, and you guys are watching even Q Stone Studio and stuff, and I'm sure this didn't happen overnight. And so you got to learn to invest in yourself if you want to build this, and you looking at doing this long term.
Yeah.
Man, like mixed in key, you got to pay for that software. You got to pay for it. You got, the MPC Live, you got to pay for it, but you look at those things as an investment because you're going to get that investment back. Yeah. I've gotten my return on my purchase on mixed in key probably 10 times back already.
Yeah.
But, you can't be afraid. What do they say? Scare money don't make no money.
Yeah. You got it. Yeah, already.
So,
man, you bought this device you was sharing with me earlier, man. Someone you was telling me that I should get.
Yeah, so this is called the AirBridge Plus. And really, this is designed for guitars and bass, right? So they can go wireless. You don't have a bunch of wires running all over your studio.
Yeah.
And so what I've used it with this is when I'm making beats, sometimes I don't want to be in front of the big computer in my studio. I want to be in the couch, but I still want to use the audio in my studio.
Yeah.
So I'm able to put the transmitter and the receiver together. So I put this on the MPC and this on my mixer, and I can move around my room freely as I'm producing.
That's dope, man. So is this a DJ thing, or did you just pick this up?
This is really a guitar thing.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
It's just for an instrumental. It's for guitar, but this could be used for multiple different options.
Yeah. Man, appreciate that, Doc. Man, I think that was it, man.
Yeah.
You done came through, dropped the beat. DJ OVERFLOW, man.
Man, I appreciate y'all having me as your first guest, man.
Yeah, man.
And man, you guys follow this man. Support this man. Tell everybody about what's happening right here at this podcast.
Yeah, man. Leave y'all comments, man. Which beat y'all thought was the dopest, man. Who y'all think y'all can hear on the beat or whatever, man. And y'all go check out DJ Overflow. He got beats, y'all. So if y'all looking for beats, hit him up. Holler at him. He got a whole studio, man. You can go over and record whatever. He mixes, he masters, man. He does it all, man. So it's what it do, man. It's your man Quincy Whetstone, a.k.a. Q Stone. And this is BeatStreet. And I'ma holler at y'all already.
Peace.